So I imagine you're here if you've lost your voice. A brief intro. I'm going to run through a few exercises that can help, on one hand, restore your voice, and on the other hand, help to keep some of the strength while you're unable to sing. It's always useful to do these things, even if your voice is frail. Part of this means be careful with your voice when the throat's inflamed or there's any issues going on in the larynx. So, just trying to sing a few notes for me. That's attempting to do that with control. So, because of all the inflammation and phlegm from my immune system kicking in, everything's a bit constricted. So, I want to be careful when I'm doing these, singing softly. So I default back to that yawning tone. We're going to go through a couple of exercises here: breathing, straw phonation, and some basic scales, just to find your voice and where to work out from. So I think about it like gardening. You start where everything looks kind of nice, or in this case sounds nice, and prune out from there. So you want to find a comfortable place where your voice still is workable and isn't too uncomfortable. Let's get into some of the exercises. All right, first exercise. This is square breathing. You should do this every day anyway, even if your voice isn't sore. We'll talk about it in a couple of different ways. I'm going to use this metronome here. This one's set to about 72 beats per minute. You can get an app on your phone that does the same thing. So counting in for square breathing. I'll demonstrate first and then explain. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. And hold. 2, 3, 4. In. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And relax. So what I've done there, inhaled deeply. That means down the lower part of the lungs, so engaging the diaphragm. Holding that full for 4 beats. Exhaling steadily for 4 beats. And then holding empty for 4 beats. So this shouldn't really affect anything in the throat. If it's so swollen that it is hard to breathe, which was my case a couple of days ago, it was causing coughing. In that case, you can breathe through your nose for the time being. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. And hold. 2, 3, 4. In. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In the long term, you want to be able to do diaphragmatic breathing through your mouth, but in the case of any inflammation, do it through your nose. Unless your nose is blocked too, then opt for the mouth. So, to maximize that exercise, we want to pull in deeply. Make sure you're not puffing up your shoulders and chest when you're doing that, because that would be a shallow breath into the top of the lungs, which is kind of good for like exercise, running around, doing anything that involves quick movement, because it doesn't block the core muscles. But in this case, we want to breathe deeply into the bottom of the lungs. So hold your belly. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Notice when I take that deep breath in, the shoulders aren't puffing up. It's all down here, and you feel it in your core. I feel it in my back every time. After you've done a round of those, you could do 4, 8 rounds of in, hold, out, hold. A big yawning sound. Ah. Ah. You can hear in my voice, I'm not getting very smooth connection on some of those high notes. Ah. Ah. There are moments of weakness there, and there was even a second there of just air coming through. That's because there's so much inflammation in my voice box and on the vocal folds that when they stick together and they stay together, and then there might just be like a tiny little opening for air to get out. This is sort of like whispering. So when you whisper, when you talk like this, you're squeezing your vocal folds together very tightly and just letting a tiny bit of air out. So in the case of voice loss or any impairment, don't whisper. It's worse for your voice. You're better off working on deep breathing and humming to kind of warm your voice up, and just talk softly. Talk with your mouth open. Don't talk through your teeth. That kind of squeaky voice sort of gets into vocal fry territory, which is the same thing as whispering. You're sort of keeping the vocal folds so close together. So if they are inflamed, you're just going to make things worse. So just talk more softly. Okay, in front of me on my little table, I have a glass of water, a tea of my choice. So in this case, lemon, honey, and ginger. So I grind up the ginger, keep it in this little guy, and then I've got fresh lemon and honey. And this, so glass of water, metal straw, you can use any kind of straw. Next set of exercises are straw phonation. What I'm going to do is a long exhale into the straw over 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Bursts of 3 over 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll do the long one again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you can hear that, but there are moments where the sound drops out or goes louder. That's a lack, on one hand, of diaphragm control with some people. But the other thing is that as the air is passing through my throat, if there's any tension in here or tightness because of inflammation or whatever reason, the air has trouble getting through. And if in this case, my voice box is kind of seizing up because it's sore, then I'm going to lose that airflow. So that was just putting air through it. The next round, we're going to sing a couple of notes. So what I'll do here, we'll work on singing just some basic intervals. We're going to hum, starting on C below middle C. If you have a higher voice, sing the higher octave, which I can't do today. That would be, have a practice on that. So you can hear how affected my voice is. I can't sing those notes. Back to the low ones. And again. Now we're going to do that into the straw. Deeper in the water, the harder it is to blow out. So just keep it shallow. We'll get our time on again. 3. So. What I'm trying to go for is clear sound. So you can hear my voice changing as we go through this. Now, this exercise is good. It pushes back gently on the vocal folds. Again, good exercise to do all the time before singing or after as well. I'm not projecting too much. It's only about that volume. So with the straw, it just adds a little bit of resistance back onto the vocal folds and is good for exercising them. So we're going to add some more notes to this exercise. This is in the major scale, just going up to the 5th and back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And short notes, 3, 4. Again, 3, 4. You could do that kind of exercise for about half an hour. You don't need to do it over a scale. You could do it over music, just humming along and just gently, not pushing. The useful thing about having the glass is that if you're blowing out too much air, you're going to get water all over you. So just keeping it so that the bubbles are just below the top of the glass. So now just humming, gently humming. We'll sing those same notes again. 2, 3, 4. Notice as I'm singing this is nice and low, the thyroidal protrusion. If it's getting tight, see there, this part of my throat's puffing out. That means I'm singing wrong. That means my swallowing muscles are coming in. It's puffing out. I want to keep all that relaxed. If any volume means that comes out, back off on the volume for your voice. So after just doing that little bit of warm-up, some of the falsettos come back. So I couldn't sing those high notes about a minute ago. If singing all those notes is too much, do smaller intervals. So let's do a couple of those now. Smaller intervals meaning the gap between the notes will be smaller. We'll just do the first two notes. Like that. So this is a gentle way of rocking your voice back and forward. Then try it for a bigger interval. We'll go up to the third note in the scale. Like that. 3, 4. Let's go up one more interval. Up to the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Up to the fifth. 3, 4. Go up to the sixth. 3, 4. Resist the urge to belt these notes just to hit them. If they sound weak, that's okay. Just back off on the volume. You don't want to push through any swelling to get to the note. So like this. As soon as I hit that volume, my voice breaks in this case. Normally it doesn't. Way better. Usually. Go up to our major seventh. 3, 4. And then our octave. 3, 4. Now I'm going to try a ninth and see how that goes. 3, 4. So you can see that swallowing muscle coming in. I'm unable to hit that note cleanly right now. But just a few minutes ago, I couldn't hit the C. So that's what I mean, this gardening approach to just sort of finding a comfortable ground, working your way out. You could do descending exercises as well. We can see how low we can go. Down a minor second. And the next one. 3, 4. 4. So starting to get a bit grumbly there. When I'm going to the lower notes, I want to make sure I'm like yawning on the inside. Oh. So that if there's any tightness at the back of the throat, I can get out of the way of that, tightness or irritation. Oh. Like a yawn. All right, let's go down one more. 3, 4. Croakiness there again, so I got to remember to yawn a bit more. So that's where I'm hitting that croaky vocal fry. So I want to back off that. I hope that's useful. Keep working on those. You can go back and do all of those same exercises with the straw phonation or doing a ooh sound. Anytime you're hitting discomfort, if it starts to sound really croaky, just take a sip of your tea. Always keep a nice warm cup of tea next to you. Not hot. Other things that are useful for this: boil water, put a bunch of herbs in there. I've got sage and thyme and rosemary and mint. Just throw a bunch of that in there. Chuck in about a half a cup of cold water, just so it's not fully boiling. Towel over your head and breathe that in. That can help clear up things. It can help get rid of the bacteria and the virus stuff as well, and the build-up of phlegm. I do that when I'm sick 2 or 3 times a day, as morning, somewhere through the middle of the day, and then before I go to bed. Don't do it with water that's too hot, because then that heat can actually cause more trouble for any inflamed areas in your throat. What I've also got is an electric diffuser, atomizer thing, where I've got water and essential oils in there as well. So pure essential oils, none of the fake stuff. Don't crank that too hard because it can dry out your throat. So we want to keep that nice and lubricated. But that thing is really good for, again, clearing out phlegm and clearing out the nostrils so that we can hum more clearly. Because that's all coming out my nose when I hum. M's and N's. All right, good luck. I hope this helps. Return to this video if you need it. Give it a like. I'm going to put more of these videos up with more lessons. And when my voice is back, we'll do some more advanced stuff. All right, thanks. Bye.